Welcome to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Especially my new viewers and new subscribers. Your kindness, your generosity, your support of my channel has truly been amazing, and I'll never take that for granted. A 58-year-old American who grew tired of the rat race and decided to move to the Philippines in search of a new life. Well, I found that new life, and I want to share with you my boots on the ground experiences the only way I know how, and it's by giving you the nitty-gritty. It's just exactly what I'm seeing, what I'm living, what I'm experiencing, and I'm never going to sugarcoat that. It's not going to start today. The subject of my vlog today is part 2. I married a Filipina scammer and other romance horror stories in the Philippines. Many people asked me to do a part 2, and I agreed. I listened to my subscribers. I'm not one that tries to profit off somebody's misery, but these type of stories, they really help, especially men who are trying to come over here and, hook up with a woman, maybe do immigration and bring her back to your own country. In all of these stories, man, there's a lesson. And the main lesson is we have to get to know these women. You never know who you're dealing with over here. And another lesson is money corrupts good women. Money corrupts good people. A lot of these women that we're chatting with online and Skype and all those different places, these dating sites, they're not earning a lot of money. And when you send them $200, $300, $400 a week, that's life-changing money over here, and they just really don't know how to manage that. But this first story is really tragic. It's not a new story, but it's a true story. Happened in 2015. A 31-year-old Filipina living in Norway, which Norway is always consistently on everybody's list of some of the best places to live on the earth. She murdered a 61-year-old Norwegian husband by placing a smoldering disposable charcoal grill in his bedroom at night while he was sleeping. Of course, he died of carbon monoxide poisoning. Now at her, good morning. Now at her trial, her defense was, after years of mistreatment, being treated bad, she acted out of a fit of anger and killed him. But the prosecutor saw it differently. He says, hey, he gave you a new life. He treated you like a queen. And 3 weeks prior to his death, 3 weeks prior to you murdering him, you were on the internet searching the best way to kill someone without getting caught. What way, how can you kill somebody without getting caught? And will rat poison kill humans? And at the trial, evidence was presented that she had receipts and had been to the store and purchased rat poison. It was never proven that she tried to use it. And this gentleman had given her a life she never dreamed of. And he was like a lot of us when we come over here. We're suffering from low self-esteem. At the time of his death, he had just underwent a gastric band surgery. And, to try to get a handle on his obesity. She was given a long prison term. And it's really, really a tragic, sad story that happens far too often. Let's get to know these women, guys. You can't come over here for 2 or 3 weeks. And in this next story, it's even going to shock you. The gentleman sent me a message in my Sunshine Shoulders Messenger. He's an outstanding gentleman. Let me tell you this right now, that some Filipina because he's sworn. He said, all I want is a Filipina now, even after this bad experience. They're going to get lucky. I mean, this guy, he's a high earner. He's just a professional man. He's good in all respects, as far as I know. But he's 42 years old. He was coming out of a 16-year marriage. Just recently was divorced. And he was watching an episode of 90 Day Fiancé. And I believe they met on Filipina Cupid, so he makes a profile. And of course, he was inundated with requests, with messages. He said so many he couldn't even manage it, but he decided upon a 22-year-old from Manila. He sent me a picture, and of course she was beautiful. Of course she was gorgeous. And I asked him, I said, hey, was this your first time ever coming to the Philippines? He said, yeah. I said, well, how long did you stay here? Now, I hope you guys are sitting down. He said 3 days. I said, huh? He said, yeah, I was here for 3 days. And it was the best 3 days of his life. You know, I told him, and I'm going to tell you, it's the shortest time that I've ever known anyone to come to the Philippines. Man, this is a long way over here. Let me remind you that that flight is going to kick your ass. But he comes over here for 3 days. He meets the family. She gives him the Filipina tune-up, complete with a free oil change and lube job, and blows his mind. And he went back and started the immigration process to bring her over on the fiancé visa. Because now, after 3 days, they're engaged. Now, this is his words. He says, I knew she wasn't working, so I gave her 2,500 pesos a week, paid for English school, paid for driving school, paid for a few other things. He said in the 6 months they were together, he was out of a little bit over $5,000. Now, in his words, that's not a lot of money, but ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you, for a 22-year-old without a college degree, without an education, okay, the red flag was English school. When a woman graduates from college over here, she's not going to need English school, okay? 2,500 pesos a week, that's $10,000 per month, and also $5,000. It's about 250,000 pesos in 6 months, a little bit over 40,000 pesos a month. Yeah, that's probably earning more than a doctor, a new doctor coming out of medical school earns over here. But the story even gets worse, man. It's really a sad story because this guy's really a good guy. He gets a message on his Facebook Messenger out of the Caribou Sky one day from a Japanese guy who says, hey man, we're engaged to the same woman. And the Japanese guy says, yeah, one of her best friends told me about you, and I just wanted to reach out to let you know what she was doing. Now let me stop right there, guys. I always tell you, when you come over here, make sure that you meet the family, meet the friends, because they're going to vet the woman for you. They're going to tell you everything it is you need to know, if you need to know anything. Somebody in that family's jealous. One of them friends is envious. So if she's fooling around, she's got a boyfriend or anything like that, they're going to tell on her. I've got a friend right now, a good friend, one of the first foreigners I ever met in the Philippines. I met him in Managua. It's a little town in northern Mindanao. And that's how he met his wife that he's been married to now. I think they've been married for about 17 years. They got a great marriage, but he was actually dealing with her cousin. His wife told him, said, hey, she's got a boyfriend over here. All the money that you're sending over here is being spent on her boyfriend. And went on to, rat the cousin out. And so they ended up, good morning. So they ended up getting married. But anyway, the Japanese guy says, hey, I'm sending $7,000 per week. I built them a home for the family, and whenever I go to Manila, we all go to the resort. I pay for everything. Of course, he was sleeping with the little girl, and the young lady's family actually encouraged her to not only keep the Japanese guy, but to keep him happy, make him happy along with the American guy. Now, if you haven't done your math, I'm going to tell you that's 9,500 pesos every week. It's a lot of money for this young girl. And of course, once the man found out, she begged him to give her another chance, but he said, now I can't trust her. Listen, if you don't listen to nothing else I say, you cannot come over here for 3 days and think you know somebody. Okay, I don't care how beautiful they are, because there's so many beautiful women over here. I don't care how sweet they look. Remind you, over there, murder in the family. You can't do it, guys. It's going to take some time. You're 8,000 miles from home. This culture is totally different. Desperation will turn the best person into the worst person, man. Make them do things they never thought doing. So, you know, he was out of, you know, about, I'd say 300,000 pesos and, you know, a broken heart. But he said the loving was so good, she was so passionate in those 3 days, that all he wants is a Filipino from here on out. So that's a good thing that came out of this. Now, this next story, it's not a new story, but it's a true story, and it happened right here in San Carlos City. Of course, the American meets the beautiful young Filipina on land. He comes over, I mean, she just, you know, blows his mind. Again, Filipina tune-up, free oil change and lube job. He goes back, starts the immigration process. No problem there. The problem was the lady was pregnant. Never told him. Now, credit to the Filipina, she didn't try to say it was his. What she did was she just hid it from him. By the time the immigration procedures and all that, the visa was approved, she already had the baby. The young lady's beautiful. She just celebrated her 18th birthday not too long ago, because our daughter, our 15-year-old daughter, went to the, you know, they have that debut, you know, where she's a debutante. And, you know, it's from that story that I got my idea to let you, you know, to inform you guys, to suggest to you guys, look, when you come over here, man, do the pregnancy test before you lay down with the young lady. You got to protect yourself all the way over here. This woman could have easily got him. You know, it just shows the character. Some of these women are really good women, you know, but they get caught up, man, in these hard times over here. Because she could have easily put that on him. You can't tell these women is 1, 2 months pregnant over here, man. They're very little, a lot of them. They're very petite, very slim. But yeah, he ended up marrying her. She's still beautiful to this day. She's in her 40s, like 45 or 46. I'm friends with her on Facebook, you know, but they're divorced. She's been through 2 or 3 foreigners over there, but now she's living by herself. But the moral of the story, again, is, guys, we got to know these women. You know, we're rushing. We're in a rush, and only fools rush in. You've heard that, right? And that's what happens in all of these cases. In my last case, I just received his message today. And, you know, he's giving me the story, man, the sad story. You know, he meets the Filipina, you know, and for the last 3 years, you know, online, you know, he's fallen in love. He's given her over 1 million pesos to start a business, to do this, to do that. Of course, none of it's materialized. And then he hits me with this, hey, can you help me find her? And I'm like, man, I don't do that kind of stuff. And even if I did, I wouldn't do it, man. Hell, that could get me in trouble over here. But, you know, that's the number one thing, guys. I mean, you know what my rule number 1 is when you come to the Philippines. Shut the fuck up and mind your own business. But there's a rule number 1 in dating over here. Don't send any goddamn money over here to these women you've never met before. especially millions of pesos, man. Come on. How many times can I say it? But he's in a situation now where I don't care what I say, I don't care what anybody says, he's going to continue to do it. Oh, he's in love with her, and, you know, when he finally comes over here, he's going to marry her. I said, look, man, you know how long that's been? I said, I can guarantee you. And he sends me a picture. She's not even good looking. I'm like, dude, you deserve better than this, number one. Number two, I can guarantee you I'll put everything on this that she's screwing with somebody else. You know, you deserve better, man. Don't do it. I mean, it's really sad, man. I mean, guys, we can't fall in love with these women online, man. When you do it, man, you setting yourself up for disaster. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to be on one of these videos. I want to thank the guys for sharing their stories, and they told me to share them. They said, if it can help somebody, please share my story. I've got more. It could be a part 3, part 4, part 5, but the point is, we're trying to help each other. Somebody has to look after our best interest over here, 8,000 miles from home, because they have support groups here, and they have them in your country. I need to remind you that over and over. Remember, the young lady's family encouraged her, stay with the Japanese, stay with the American, do whatever they want you to do. Just keep that money flowing. So thank you so much for stopping by today. I really, really appreciate it. That rule number 1, man, is very important in dating, man. Hold off on sending money, guys. It's one thing to help somebody. It's another thing to corrupt them, man. When you send a Filipino 1 million pesos and you think she's going to build some business over here, let me tell you the only thing they're good at with money is spending it. They're not good at managing that type of money. They're good at managing budgets with 10,000 and below. Not even 10,000, I say 5,000 and below. They work miracles. You have to have a certain edge over here to make it. And when we give these women types of money that we give them, we dull that edge. They're never the same. And then once your relationship is over, she has to go out here and find another foreigner because now she's stuck. She cannot thrive in the in this life anymore, in this society. Okay? So thank you so much. If you're in America, it's getting late. And I hope you help somebody before you let your head hit your pillow. But if you're on one of them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, you're just getting off second shift, or you're on your lunch break, and you see somebody in the street, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's not even 7 o'clock yet. You have the whole rest of the day. There's no excuse not to help somebody, even if it's a foreigner. Filipino, foreigner, doesn't matter. If they need our help, we should be there to help. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID-free. I'll see you next time. If you're on my live stream later, I'm gonna talk about it. I was scammed by an American over here, and it breaks my heart, man. You know, when people try to take your kindness for weakness. We 8,000 miles playing these games, man. But I'm gonna expose this guy because I want to prevent anyone else over here from falling prey. So thank you so much. Take care. I'll see you next time.